Hello everyone, great to see you again. I'm here today to tell you about something that I'm going to be doing over the next week or so. I am in the process of making a series of videos on the Old Testament book of Esther. Now that's a book that I love, and I have got a series of thoughts which are from the Lord for you, and I would love you to hear them. I'm going to post one of these videos every couple of days, every day if I can manage to get them out quick enough, but certainly every couple of days over the next week to 2 weeks. And what I would love you to do is to listen to them. And even more than that, I would love you to get out your Bible and to read again the story of Esther. Or maybe you have never read the story of Esther, and some people tell me that they have not, that they're unfamiliar with it. Well, look, the story of Esther is fascinating. I love the character of Esther, who stands at the middle of it. Let me tell you a little bit about the background to the story of Esther. It's set in the 5th century BC, and the focus of the book is on the Persian Empire. If you're familiar with history or with the great prophecies of Daniel, you will know that there were 4 great empires in history. First of all, the Babylonian Empire, founded and led by Nebuchadnezzar, who conquered Jerusalem and took the people of Judah into exile far from their own land, took them to what is now southern Iraq and held them captive there. The Babylonian Empire was broken by the Medo-Persian Empire. And the Medes and the Persians defeated the Babylonians, and they took over their great empire and expanded it. They in turn were conquered by the Greeks, and ultimately the Greeks were conquered by the Roman Empire, of which we are all aware. But we're going back to the time of Persia, and the Persians were in control. When the Persians conquered the Babylonians, they allowed the people of Judah to return to their own home, and many of them did, but many more of them stayed and settled throughout the empire. And our story focuses in on Susa, the winter capital of King Ahasuerus, or Xerxes, as he was called in his own language. And in this story, Ahasuerus loses patience with his queen Vashti and expels her from her position. And he decides to get a new queen, but instead of doing the traditional thing that he was meant to do, and that was choose his queen from among 6 noble Persian families, he didn't do that. He decided that he was going to have a beauty contest, that he was going to scour the empire and get the best looking girls, bring them into his harem, make them his concubines, and from them choose one who would be queen. Well, now swept up in that was a girl called Hadassah, or her Persian name was Esther. And Esther was taken into the king's household. And when she came into the presence of the king fell for her, and he loved her and made her his queen. And then about 5 years later, a plot arose against the Jews. A plot arose against God's people, and it was spearheaded by a man called Haman. He managed to get the king to issue a law which would destroy every Jew in the empire, where they would be killed, men, women and children, and their property taken. But Esther, working with her cousin and stepfather Mordecai, she worked with him. He was a godly man, and he suggested to her that she try to help her people. And Esther risked her own life by going into the presence of the king uninvited, and she achieved deliverance for God's people. It's a wonderful story. That's the very bare bones of it. You've got to read it for yourself. So get your Bible, get it out. In the Old Testament, after Nehemiah, before Job, you'll find the book of Esther. Read it, and I'm coming back to it, and I want to share with you what the Lord has given me from His Word. It's a message for you. You need to hear it, and I know that the Lord will bless you when you listen, hear from His Word. Praise His name. Look, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll be sure to know when all of these videos are published. Give me a like, give me a comment, let me know you're there. But hit the notifications bell, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.